My name is Bill Levinson, Managing Partner with Levinson and Associates. And with us today, we have Joseph Loughran, our Marketing Vice President. And then we have a special guest speaker, Kevin Kilberry, who we've actually teamed up with to develop and finally launch the first and only exclusive agency automator CRM platform. So we got some great stuff to go over on today's call. We've literally been working on this project for over a year now with Kevin and his team, and of course our team here at Levinson. So we couldn't be any more excited, and I hope that everyone is a believer and feels exactly the way that we feel by the time we're done with today's webinar, because we couldn't be any more thrilled. If you would have seen, the man hours, the phone calls, and the programmers, the development team, everyone that's involved with this project, and the excitement and the length of time that it's taken, you can truly understand how great and how much this really means to all of us. So huge, huge webinar for us today for all of our agents and the team here at Levinson and Associates. Definitely take out a pen and paper, and you're going to want to jot down any notes, questions, comments, and then we can answer any of those questions after the call, or you can shoot us an email with whatever you're more comfortable with. And of course, if we have to get Kevin and his team involved, we can do that for you as well. So, I'll just say this before we get started, because we have a lot to talk about, in this industry, especially with everything that's going on now, and just, if you look at everything that's going on with our economy, we just had this big election, and there's a lot of moving parts, and things are moving at a rate of speed that is, in my opinion, it's unbelievable, and it's so important for us as an IMO and you as an agent to stay in tune with everything that's going on with our industry and with the government, with this new DOL ruling, which, by the way, I think will really not affect us in a great way, which we'll talk about that in a few more minutes. But the point is, we feel here at Levinson that it's our job to keep you in tune with the industry, with technology, with products and carriers, and all of the latest sales concepts and programs. Okay, it's our job to keep those in front of you so you don't have to waste your time by surfing websites, reading forums and different articles. We're going to do all of that for you. And the best part is, with all of these great tools that we offer and great technology, we're not going to charge you a penny. Okay, as long as you're active with us and you're writing a minimum amount of premium, then we're going to give you everything at absolutely no charge. And that's kind of our value-added proposition that we know and feel you're not going to get anywhere else. That's where Levinson stands apart from our competition. And if you've been with us for a while, you know that the proof is in the pudding, because we do just that. Okay, and if you're not a believer yet and you're new with us, you'll see that in literally days or weeks to come. Okay, so let's move forward here. I know we have a lot to cover, and Kevin has about 30 minutes. Okay, thanks, Joe. Okay, so our iGenius platform, and like I said earlier, that whole value-added concept, what makes us different, it's the iGenius platform, okay, which is part of the agency automator. That's what kind of makes up the platform. This is a turnkey sales model that allows you to have everything you need at your fingertips to be successful in this industry. And I'm not going to take the time to go over each bullet, but I am going to skip around a little bit, and we will also include this in today's email that goes out after the call. But the best part here is, yes, there's so much value here that you're not going to get anywhere else, okay? But even better than that, it's going to help your business. But the best part, you can use all of these bullets and tools and proprietary platforms to go out there and recruit agents. So why not build your own hierarchy? So yes, you're going to concentrate on your day-to-day sales, but I'm sure we all know at least 1 or 3 or 7 agents that would say, oh my gosh, Bill, I didn't know that I can have full access to a proprietary E&O platform for $1 million at $395 a year. Or I didn't know I can give free scholarships for all life insurance and annuity sales at no charge to my clients. Where can I sign up? Well, you refer them to us, and then we code them in your hierarchy, and you control the spread. You can even go into our hierarchy tracking tool. It's called Broker Gear. You can look at all of your business and then look at all of your downline's business. So it's a great way to sit back on a Sunday, watch a football game while you have a few agents out there making sales. Okay, so we will help you with that as well if you're interested. Like I said, anything that you see that that creates sizzle for you, jot it down, let us know after the call, and we will dive in a little deeper and make sure that you're comfortable with whatever bullet that you want us to dive into. Okay, let's move forward here. We're going to talk about what's new at Levinson and Associates, just a few little bits here, and then we're going to move forward into the presentation. So just a few other things that we've been working on, and like I said earlier in the call, we know it's our job to bring the value to the table and not be another Me Too IMO. We have to stand apart, just like you with your clients. It's the same philosophy, same mindset. Okay, so even though we're the best today and we have the best technology and tools, tomorrow that could change, and we know that. Okay, let's be honest. So we're out there every day looking for what's next. What's the best tool that can help our agents get their foot in the door to tell their story, which is the name of the game. So that's why you can see we're up late at night putting all of these great tools together. Top section, Levinson mobile app. This is literally days away. We're just waiting on the final approval from iTunes. So we designed a Levinson app, first ever in the IMO space. You'll be able to do everything that you can do from our desktop website right from your smartphone or tablet. If you have a Google Android device, no problem. Any type of iPhone, no problem. Even tablets, iPads, you can tap into our free downloadable Levinson mobile app and access everything. And that's changing the world, because what that means now, you're at your son's soccer game, you're sitting next to your neighbor, and you say, hey, Bob, what's going on with you lately? And Bob says, oh, everything's great. What are you doing now for work? And you say, I'm a life insurance agent. And Bob says, well, I'd like I've been meaning to get a quote. Can you see what a 20-year term, maybe $100,000 costs? Pull out your phone, run the quote. You can sign up Bob online with our drop ticket e-app in less than 2 minutes. Hit submit. You are done. You just wrote a full life insurance application. The next morning, you get an email saying everything's processed. Policy comes in the mail directly to you or your client, whatever you prefer, within 3 to 4 weeks. It's that simple. So we are changing the game, and it's changing your game because everything's getting much faster, and we're keeping you in front of the competition. Bottom left corner, we came out with the first ever client-driven term product. Okay, this means 100% client-driven. The product sits on your website or social media pages, or you can email blast it out. Your client clicks on your custom link. They run a quote, sign up online, policy gets mailed directly to your client within 3 days, and they get a full scholarship. You do nothing. Okay, the name of the game is driving traffic to your custom link so you get full commissions and renewals. And that's exactly why we're showing you how the agency automator works today, because that's going to help you drive traffic. So great, great stuff to come. Bottom right corner, last bit on this slide, the DOL Sales Toolkit. We just had the latest FAQs answer that literally came in a few days ago. We're going to include that in today's email, but we also have a section on our website called the DOL Sales Toolkit. You can log in and get all of the latest facts, everything that you need to know about how things will change. Everything is right there. And Joe, let's just make sure to include that in everybody's email after the call. Okay, moving forward here. We're having the best year in history at Levinson and Associates. Since 1972, we're literally at a record number of premium and a record number of new agents. In fact, we even knocked down a wall at the headquarters in Coral Springs, and we're adding 2 more offices literally as we speak. If you're local, you know the construction going on here. So we couldn't be any happier, and we owe this to all of our agents, to you guys and girls that made this possible. October, last month, actually my birthday month, me and Carrie there were on the cover of Insurance Newsnet magazine. And why were we invited to be on the cover? To talk all about our latest tools and technology, about our new agency Automator that has finally answered the $10 million question, how do we drive traffic to our websites? How do we drive traffic to our custom links? Okay, we have answered those questions finally. That was the reasoning behind that article. Great cover story. It's available on our website. We'll also email it out to everybody on the call. And you can see this month, November 2016, we were featured again. We were the first page in the annual Tech Guide edition of Insurance Newsnet magazine. Why? Because of our agency Automator platform. It is a game changer, folks, and Paul Feldman, the editor, I guess agreed with us and believes in what we're doing because he gave us a full page on the first page of the Tech Guide. So couldn't be any more thrilled, and we know the reason why we're in this position. It's because of all of our agents and general agencies. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to roll into the agency Automator. We have Joseph Loughran here who's going to talk a little bit about the rollout, the timing, and then we'll dive into some tidbits on CRM, and then Kevin, our feature presenter, will take it from there. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So I'm going to I don't want to steal too much thunder from Kevin here, but you know, we've been mentioning the agency Automator platform over about probably the last 12, 13 months, making sure that we're using one of the most you know, advanced programs in the industry. So for those agents that don't know, you know, the CRM tool is really one of the most important things you can use if you're going to be competing in the modern industry and really be able to access more clients more efficiently. We're going to talk a little bit about why it's important to use the tool, and Kevin's actually going to dive into how you can actually use the tool to grow your business, which is really the whole point of the platform. So one thing I want to touch on before I roll it over to Kevin here is, you know, why is a CRM important? Why is a CRM a must-have for your business? If you look at the cornerstone of any modern business, whether it's you know, looking at a company like Netflix or Uber or any one of the companies that has really blown up in the last couple of years, they're all using a customer relationship management tool, whether it's to track your purchases on Amazon or find out what type of movies you like to watch at the local Redbox. This is really how we can differentiate ourselves from the competition, and that's by managing the relationship that you have with your customers. I'm sure a lot of agents have relationships with certain clients that will never be broken. That'll be a client for life. And the real goal of the CRM tool is to make sure that every single person you deal with turns into that type of client. So if you're serious about developing your business and really taking it to the next level, this CRM platform is a must to be able to have a robust system in place that will help you streamline not only your customer relationship management on a day-to-day basis, but also uncovering new sales. And that's really where Agency Automator is different from a lot of the other CRM platforms in the industry. I'm sure you've seen different advertisements from companies like Salesforce and other CRM tools. There is nothing in the industry that allows you to easily manage your contacts and also find new prospects in your local town and in your local state like the Agency Automator does. So we're going to dive into a little bit more detail here. One thing I want to mention is, like Bill had said, at the end of the call here, everybody will receive an email with all the information and the steps on how to get started. And as soon as Kevin is done with the preview here, we're actually going to dive into that and show you exactly what you need to do to actually start the program as early as this afternoon. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Kevin here. Bill, if you want to say something real quick here while I do that.
Yep, I got it. Thank you, Joe. Okay, so here we are, literally 14 months later, and we are launching the first ever CRM day-to-day dashboard and 1,000 new prospects on a monthly basis at the very minimum at no charge for all active Levinson agents. Couldn't be any more excited. Without further ado, Kevin Kilberry. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Joe, and thank you all for spending your time with us today and learning about Agency Automator. We're real excited on this end, on the development end, on the software end, to get this thing off the ground. Like Bill said, it's been a long time in the making, and we put a lot of heart and soul into it. So we hope you like it. We'll also tell you right up front that it's a work in progress. So like any new software, if you've been exposed to it in the past, then you know that it's, from time to time, it's a little bit buggy. And sometimes things don't work perfectly, but we're on it. We're on it. We're trying to make it better, and we're looking for your input as well. So what you see is not the end of the road. This is going to be an evolving program, but the only way that it's going to evolve is through you and through your input. So if you see something that you think could be made better or something that may be missing in the program, then let us know. Let Levinson know, and we'll put it on the wish list, and we'll identify which of those items are best for everyone, and we'll get a task plan put together. So what I want to do is just kind of walk you through the program right now, because it would take too long to go through it in tremendous detail. So I'm going to give you a quick overview, and then probably one of the most important things I'm going to point you to is this Help tab. So this is your best friend with the program. So once you've registered for the account, you have a login, you get into it. There's a series of help videos that walk you through setting up your profile, which is critical to the start of the program. You've got to be able to put all your contact information in, load in your social icons, social links, any images like video or like logos or pictures of yourself and so on. The dashboard, which is really a critical piece of the program that kind of summarizes a lot of what's going on inside the program, including leads that you're generating, opens, clicks, and so on from your email campaigns. There's a CRM help video, a prospect program help video, and an unsubscribe manager, because, again, you're sending out emails, so you got to make sure that you're complying with all the rules of the road, which is the canned spam law that exists here in this country, and we'll talk more about that and make sure you understand how Agency Automator helps you stay in compliance with that. So I'll be referring back to these videos from time to time, but these are the videos that we're really going to be directing you to. So the training is great, and we have these live demo trainings like we're doing right now every Wednesday at 3:30 Eastern Time. But the 24/7 part of this that allows you to be able to go in and learn the program for yourself and get your questions answered at 10 o'clock at night when you want to spend a little bit of time building a campaign, it's going to be these help videos. We've also added some FAQs in, and these are some questions that we know that you're going to come up with during the course of using the program. So check out the FAQs. If you have some questions that kind of fall between the cracks and you don't see it in the FAQs, you can't get it answered in that help video, then use the support ticket. If it's a technical related type question, like this doesn't work or my campaign didn't go out or something like that, use the support ticket tool in order to let us know on the technical side so we can look into it. If you have a question with regard to, how do I use the program, or what's the best practice, on how to use the program, or what's the right email template to use, and how do I, kind of construct my game plan for using the program, then you need to contact the Levinson folks, and those guys have been trained to help you with that. So just kind of quickly, we'll start back here on the dashboard page. So under the Home tab, we got several different tabs here. There's the dashboard, and I just want to touch on the profile real quick. So again, we have an entire video that really gets into the details on this. But the profile is really the heart and soul and key to your success in building your email messages inside of our editor. So what you're going to do is when you first register for the program, you're going to be asked to complete a lot of the key information that has a red asterisk on it. And then once you've logged in and after you've signed up, then you're going to be able to go right into the profile and fill in all the other pieces of the puzzle. So we have a website area here for you to put your website. We have a place for you to add in your social links, you know, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Real simple, just select it, add in the link, hit add. If you have an email disclaimer, if you want to display an email disclaimer and add that to your email, then add that in here. Your online profile parts include the photo and logo images. So if you have a photo of yourself, then you can add that in. If you have some logos, more square logos would be the 100 by 100. More horizontal logos would be the 300 by 100. So we have two different types of logos that you can add in. We have a personal profile, which is information about yourself, you know, your accreditations, maybe your education, the business profile, all about your company. I'll skip over this prospect campaign permission header for a moment. I'll come back to that later. We have a button maker, so you can go in there and create buttons. So as Bill was talking about and trying to drive traffic to your term quoting sites, you know, to your lightning term sites, then you can create your own button. You can select the size of the button, add the link in there, the URL link to that page, and even select the color of the button and the text color, and then add that into your profile. So why is this so important? Because everything that you add in here is what we call a merge field. So when you go in to actually construct your email message, rather than you having to type all this stuff in to each email message that you're going to send out in order to personalize it, once you have this in your profile, then you can just click a button and add in that merge field wherever you want into the body of the email. And Agency Automator is going to have a lot of emails that are kind of ready to go, that have a lot of these merge fields built into them, but those merge fields are not going to work unless you complete the profile. So once again, under that Help tab, that Help video tab, there's an entire video that just talks about getting this profile set up. We also have some other tabs in here, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that right now because we have other videos, and even that same profile video will cover that, so you can get into more detail. But I just wanted to emphasize the importance of making sure that you complete that profile. On the dashboard page, this is kind of where all your information shows up in summary. If you have CRM contacts that have tasks that you've set up, if you have events that you've asked us to remind you about and alert you to, like a birth date or wedding anniversary or product renewal, then those are going to show up right here in this open task and reminder grid. We also will send you a daily email that has all of that information in it as well, so that we're giving you a heads up on tasks and events that you've asked us to remind you about. As you're sending out campaigns, and we have two different parts of this program. You know, we talked a lot about, and Bill and Joe talked a lot about the CRM component of it, and that's a critical piece. That's kind of the foundational piece of the program. But then the prospecting part, that's the program that's going to allow you to reach out to local consumers and businesses, either using your list or using our database to be able to reach out and try to drive traffic to those quoting sites or your websites or landing pages and so on. So as you're sending out your campaigns, what you're going to create is activity. And what we call a lead in the program is people that engage with your message. And somebody engaging in a prospect campaign that you send out by opening an email and looking at it, and we all know, we all get a lot of emails in our inbox, and we don't look at them all. We don't have the time to look at them all, or we're not interested in looking at all of them. So you really want to try to capture the attention of the recipient, get them to look at your email, click on it. It'll register as an open inside of our tracking, and it shows up as what we call a suspect lead here on the dashboard page. We also have it in our tracking, and I'll show that to you in a moment. Prospects or clicks, you add a link, like a link to your quoting site inside the email message. Those are huge. That's a huge step in your direction that prospect is taking when they click on a link, because they not only saw something in the subject line that they like, something in the body of the email, but they clicked over to wherever you sent them. So even if they don't fill out a form or do anything, we capture that information as a click. So we tell you who clicked, their name, their email address, their phone number, you know, the link that they clicked on if you had more than one link. All of that is captured in tracking. The opt-in, so if you're sending out a prospecting campaign, your recipient's going to have a couple of different options. They could either opt in, they can unsubscribe. If they don't do either one, then you just keep sending to them until they make a decision to either get in or get out. If they opt in, then that's going to be recorded. We send you an email immediately with all their contact information, and then we also flag it and identify it as an opt-in. And if they unsubscribe, there's nothing wrong with unsubscribes. Don't feel bad about it. People are just saying, hey, it's not for me. They unsubscribe, then they're out, and they're going to be blocked from any email that you send out. Doesn't matter if they're in the CRM database or they're in a prospect list that you created. They get filtered out when you go to send out your email. So all of those kind of leads are captured on a current month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and all-time basis. So you can look at those, and then each one of these little red numeric numbers here actually generates a report. So when you click on it, it opens up a report, and you get all of the contact detail on those openers, clickers, and opt-ins. Same thing on the CRM side. You don't have opt-ins because anything that goes into your CRM database is already an opt-in. We only allow into the CRM database those people, or from your list, those people that are your current clients or those that have already opted in. So we do scrutinize that, so make sure that you're only sending us or uploading a list of just those that are already clients of yours or already opt in. But we do allow, which is really cool, as you're sending out campaigns, any of these openers, clickers, or opt-ins, we do allow you to move those people into the CRM. And why is that important? Because the way that the sending works and the way that we account for sending between the two programs, the CRM and the prospecting program, are different. In the CRM, you could send as many emails as you like to those customers that you have in there. The only limitation that you have is based upon the plan that you selected. So if you selected a plan that allows you to upload up to 1,000 contacts into the CRM database, then that's all that you're going to be allowed with that plan. But those 1,000 people you could send unlimited emails to. You're never going to be on the meter for those. On the prospecting side, we use what we call a sending credit. And every time you send out to a prospecting list, you're going to use a credit, but the credit is only used if the email gets delivered. And believe me, you're not going to get all your emails delivered. So just let's be clear right up front. Email marketing, especially to prospects, non-customer prospects, is not an easy scenario. So we do everything that we can on our end to get those emails delivered, but the truth of the matter is that there's so many filters out there to try to get through, both at the server level and at the inbox level, that we may only get 20, 30, 40, 50% of a list delivered. But only the ones that get delivered, we charge you a sending credit for. So you're going to get a certain number of sending credits with your plan when you sign up, and then every month we're going to add more sending credits in. So if you start off on the base plan, you're going to have 1,000 contacts that you could add into the CRM database with unlimited email sending. You're going to get 1,000 of these sending credits each month that only get charged or taken out of the bank if an email got delivered. So the bounces are not your responsibility. We're not going to charge you a credit for those. And we keep track of everything over here on the left-hand side in this account details. It shows you how many CRM contacts that you have in your plan, how many sending credits you have, how many you've used, how many emails that you've sent out. So this is just kind of a quick snapshot. Down here, we do have a website. So if you want to use our website, it's under the Profile tab. It is covered in that help video that talks about the profile. And I know you guys may have a website currently, but if you need a nice clean website to be able to capture leads using a nice fill out, contact us form, there's even a place where you can add a video. And really, this is an example of the website itself. There's a request quote, and all of these tabs up here at the top, inside of your profile, you can change the tabs. You can add information into them. You can personalize it. You can add your logo, and so on. So if you need a website to be able to help you capture, contact type information or request, for a quote type information, or even to display a video, there's a place for you to put the embed code inside your profile that will display the video on the video page. So all of that is made available as part of the service, part of the program. If you capture any leads from those web pages, then those will show up down here in the website leads. So moving on, as I mentioned, this is a unique program. There's a lot of CRMs out there, a lot of different tools that you can use to add, you could even go to Constant Contact or MailChimp, send out emails. They don't have a CRM, but you could send out your emails to your own clients. We actually have a CRM, and within the CRM, you could send out emails. But the other part that makes it truly unique is the prospecting part of it. So there's 2 programs that you get on the same platform. Each one of them has their own tool set. So you have CRM, and you can import a list. Now, you're not directly importing the list into our system. What you're doing is you're uploading the list, submitting it to us. We do review it, make sure that we're comfortable with it, and then if we are comfortable, we'll import it so it's in your CRM, and we'll notify you at that point. Once it's in the CRM, then you can take that list and break it down into several smaller lists. So if you had a list that's got a lot of zip codes or a lot of states in it, then you use this tool here that we call Build CRM List, and then you could break that list down. So you can use all these different data fields on whatever was imported into the CRM from that list into the CRM, and then you could break that down into a much smaller list. We even allow you to break it down by birth dates. If you had a birth date in there, you can break it down by client as of, next business review dates. We're also going to be adding in product renewal into that as well. So that's something we're going to be adding in later this week. Once you've got your list imported on the CRM side, then you want to send out a campaign. So when you're ready to send out a campaign, you go to Send Campaign, and then we have a 4-step wizard. So you have to complete each of these steps in order to send out a campaign. So we're trying to make it as easy for you as possible. So you got several different options when you want to send out a campaign. You could send it out to just one person in your CRM database, and you just want to say, hey, you want to send them out a nice email, maybe a birthday email or something off the cuff, then just put in their last name, hit search, find them in your CRM database, and send it to them. You could send it to a list of people that you have. So if you had a list in here, then any list that you imported would show up. You can select that list. You can select more than one list as well. You could also select what list size that you want to send to. You want to send it to the full list. You just want to send it to part of the list. It's up to you. Down here is what we call our Set It and Forget It campaign. So you can set up a Set It and Forget It campaign tied to a birth date, wedding anniversary, business review date. And Set It and Forget It means just that you're setting it up one time. So you could set up a birthday, what we call sci-fi campaign, and then once you set it up, then you may have 100 or 1,000 people in your CRM database. Each one of them has a birth date in their record. Then those people will get an email either 1 to 30 days prior to that birth date or that event date. So once you set it up, it just kind of runs all by itself, and then your clients will get the email that you designed, that you selected and sent, and you won't have to go in and remember to send those out every month. So that's a touch point, and if you're not familiar with kind of touch point marketing, it's really critical that you reach out, especially to your current clients, on an ongoing basis on kind of those key events that occur in their life throughout the course of the year. And that's what keeps you top of mind. So as you're sending out those events, even though it may be just a birth date email, that's very meaningful to one of your clients. And this tool helps you to do that. Same thing with holidays. We've got all the major holidays in here. And so you could set it up as a holiday, and then everybody in your CRM database, regardless, is going to get that holiday email. So all you got to do is go in and set them up kind of one at a time, New Year's, Memorial Day, whatever you consider as kind of an important holiday event. And then once again, you could set that up 1 to 30 days prior. We're going to be adding some other sci-fis in here in the near future, like the product renewals. So just kind of keep an eye open on that. And as we add new things, then Levinson will be back in touch with you and giving you a heads up that, hey, Agency Automator just added this. And there'll be a help video that's kind of attached to any new items that we add. When you're ready to move forward and you've selected a list, then now you start to build your campaign. So you're going to have an email campaign that you can build that has a primary email, which is the first email that goes out, and then you could add up to 5 follow-up emails. And each of those follow-up emails can be tied to a date or an action trigger like an open or a click. So if you wanted to send out a series of 6 emails, send one out today, set up the first follow-up for next week on a very specific date. You're picking the date and the time, and it's always in your local time. Follow-up email number 2 goes out the next week and next week and next week. So it's a convenience issue that allows you to send out a series of emails all tied to a certain theme and keep the maintenance low so that you're not having to go in and kind of add and send a lot of emails. You could build one campaign that has a series of different emails built into it. Now, these tabs down here, these are going to be changing from time to time, but these are where all of the kind of templates are for both, in this case, financial. We have a financial tab, a general information tab, greetings, some basic newsletters, holidays. So like if you're going to go build that birthday email or that holiday email we talked about, we got all the holidays represented in here that you can select from. And this one over here called private is actually going to be changing here in the near future. Just to give you a heads up, it's going to be called Levinson. And some of these other tabs here like retail and real estate that we have in, because we have a couple of specialty clients on our end, those are probably going to be coming out. So I'm just giving you a heads up on that. But just in the private templates, when you go to click on those, you're going to be able to see all the different template categories that were created in a very unique way by Levinson specifically for you. So what they're doing is they're building their own email messages that are ready to use, ready to go. And they've got a variety of different categories, and they'll be adding new categories over time, and they'll be adding new messages over time. But don't be surprised when you first start out that you see that there may only be 3 messages in a particular category. This is an ongoing build. So this is an ongoing effort where you're going to see more and more of these email messages being added over the weeks and months to come, and more categories being added over the weeks to come. So work with what you've got. You know, take a look at what's in that private gallery. Take a look at what's in these other template galleries, and find something that's of interest to you. And there's all kinds of different templates here. Some of them actually have embedded videos in them, where the video doesn't actually play inside of an email. That's not possible, you know, from a technical standpoint. But there'll be a link in there, and then the video will play on a browser. So if somebody clicks on it from their inbox, it opens up a browser window and the video plays. So there's a lot of different messages in here. If you want to view one, you just click on View. You'll see that, like up here in the header, this is one of those merge fields that I was telling you about earlier from the profile. So in this case, Joe, I'm in Joe's account right now, and he's added his agency Automator logo in. He's added his Levinson logo in as a photo. He's added all his contact information in. So when you go to open this email, though, once you go to the private gallery and you open up an email, then all of your information will show up here. So you're not going to see Agency Automator. It's not going to be branded. You know, your emails won't be branded with somebody else's logo on it. It's going to have your logo, your picture, your contact information. So any of these emails that are in the private gallery that Joe's team's built, then it's going to automatically populate with information from your profile. So that's why that profile, again, is so important. So you can look through the email, and everything in the email message you can edit. So if you don't like something, you don't like this title for some reason, you know, you're not going to hurt our feelings if you change it. If you think it's going to play better with the prospect that you're sending it to or the client that you're sending it to, then change it. You don't like a particular paragraph, you know, inside the body of the email, then you can change it. So the editor allows you to change whatever you want. So there's a toolbar just above it. So what I did is when I selected it, now I'm in the editor step. So in the editor step, now I could go in and edit this. And when I'm editing it, I can go in and just use my mouse, my keyboard to change whatever I want in here. I can even change font colors. I can change the alignments. I could change the font types. So all of these tools up here in the toolbar, some of these most of these you're going to recognize, others you may not recognize and you may never use, but like font color or text color. So if I want to change the text color, and believe me, don't get too carried away with changing text colors too, because it's a lot of agents that I've talked to like the color red. They think that's going to make everything stand out. You want to make sure that you use text colors, in a very minor way, because some servers that you're sending emails to will pick up actually in their spam filters on text color. So if you got too much red, too much green, then that's actually a spammy kind of a thing. So you want to try to keep that down to a minimum. And believe me, if you've written a good email message, or you're using one of the agency automator messages, it's already getting its job done. So you don't need to play around too much with it or play around too much with the font colors. But anyways, use the toolbar, and like I mentioned before, help video. There's an entire help video on how you send out a CRM campaign, how you upload a list, how you manipulate a list into create smaller lists, and how you create a campaign using this four-step wizard. And all kinds of other tools that I'm not going to spend a ton of time on right now, but some really cool things that over here on the left-hand side with these blue buttons, you can upload a PDF, turn the PDF into a link, add that into the body of the email, create a button, and add that link into it. You could turn that PDF into a JPEG or an image file and add that into the body of the email. So if you have something that you want to add in and you don't want to have to recreate it or you don't know how to create it inside of the email and you want to add it in as an image or add it in as a link, like a download link to maybe a PDF or some brochure that you want to share with a prospect or a client, then the PDF converter is a great tool for that. We have a button maker. We have a spam checker. So all of the text inside the body of your email, you can run a spam check. Just click on the spam check button, add in your subject line, and if there's some keyword that's in the body of the email that the spam checker picks up on as a spammy word or phrase, then it's going to show you a score. So a perfect score is 0.0, and there should be no reason why you shouldn't always get a 0.0 score. But otherwise, if you did get a score, just click on the score details link right below the button. It's going to tell you what the problem is so you can go into the body of the email and fix it. We have an image gallery. So if you want to add your own images into the body of the email, you can upload an image up to 500 kilobytes in size. It should be a JPEG file. Click on Browse, find it on your hard drive, hit Start Upload, and so on. So you can either use the merge field or the merge field, which pulls from like photos and logos from your profile, or you can on the fly just upload an image into the image gallery. We store it, and then you could pop it right into the body of your email. The other, speaking of merge fields, we have the merge field tool as one of the blue buttons. There's two different types of merge fields. So you could add in a recipient, like a recipient first name. So if you wanted to personalize the email, just select the recipient first name, put your cursor where you want it, hit insert. It puts the little merge field code in there, and then if you're sending an email out to 1,000 people in your list, and each one of them has a first name, then it's going to show their first name right in this spot. The other merge fields to the right are all the information from your profile. So these are those merge fields that I keep referring to that have all of the different fields of data that you completed in your user profile that you can pull in with a single click. So if I wanted to add in, let's say, a website, then I can put my cursor here, hit insert. Well, we don't have that. Let me pick business phone, and I can insert that. So it just pops it right in. So I don't have to retype it. I can just add it in. And don't worry about the red box around it. No one ever sees that. That's just for you. That just lets you know that that's a merge field that you're adding in. So the little red dotted lines are around the data. No one ever sees that when you send it out to a prospect. So use the merge fields in order to easily add data in. But like I said, a lot of the emails that you're probably going to be working with that have been created for you already have a lot of merge fields in them. And when you go to pull those up out of the private gallery, then all of your contact information and so on will auto-populate into the body of the email. Then you could preview your email, see what it looks like inside of a browser window. You can then send a test to yourself. This is the way you want to test your email. So you need to see what that email looks like in your inbox before you send it out to a client. So always test your email, always spam check your email, make sure that it looks good before you send it out. The rest of all this is just filling in the blanks. So here you're going to put in a test or a subject line, add in your follow-ups. You could select a completely different message for follow-up number 1, a completely different subject line. Here's where you add in either the date that you want it to go out or the action step for an open or a click. So again, all of this information covered in detail inside of the help video. The rest of this is just selecting do I want the email to come from me or from my company? Making sure all your contact information, which we do show down in the footer of the email, is showing up, and then just moving on and sending out your campaign, and that's it. So just complete those 4 steps, and then once you've actually sent out a few emails, we actually have a tool here called a campaign archive, so we save a copy of it. So every time you send out a campaign, it doesn't matter how many messages it has, we save a copy of it. You can click on it, and then it automatically loads all that information right into the editor, so that if you're just wanting to send out the same thing again to maybe a different list, just grab it, send it, and the whole thing only takes a few minutes. So learning the program takes a little bit of time. Once you've learned it, you're going to, believe me, you're going to be through this thing very quickly. 5 minutes, you got a campaign that could have up to 6 different messages in it built in. Put it into the queue, send it out right away. Schedule it as part of your an ongoing drip campaign. So that's CRM. Now, a lot of what we've talked about with regard to the actual wizard, and building the email and so on, all of this editor information is the same inside of prospecting. There's a couple things that are different that I'm going to point to. So prospecting has its own import list tool. So you don't use, if you want to import your own prospect list and submit it for review, then you need to use the prospecting import, not the CRM import. CRM is only for your own clients. We have a separate list builder tool. So this is what allows you to take your list and break it down into smaller lists. So just like we have with the CRM. So it's basically a lot of the same type of tools, but it's completely dedicated to, in this case, prospects. The send campaign does have an extra step. So it has a step right at the beginning that you can use or not use. And if you're going to use it, this is where you go into our database. So we have 29 million consumers and over 6 million businesses that you can go in and grab on a local basis and save those as a prospect list and send a campaign to them. So there's a lot of little disclaimer information here on this agreement. You need to get comfortable with the accuracy of the data, the deliverability of the data, the compliance, which is primarily the canned spam law. So before you go in and build and send out an email message, particularly to a prospect, we have all of that there. Just make sure you're comfortable with it. If you have any questions about it, send us a support ticket or give us a call. Agree and continue. We have 2 different databases, consumer database, business database. You can go in on a state-by-state basis, and you can select prospects based on location criteria like county, city, zip code, area code. You could do a zip code radius up to 50 miles. You can put a birth date range in. So this is not age, like I want everybody that's age 65 right now. So like a lot of database tools will have that, but this is a birth date range. And the reason that's important is because if you're looking for someone that's going to be turning a certain age in a period of time, like the next month or 6 months, like turning age 65, then you can put in the oldest age, put in the youngest age, for whatever age range you want, and really get very targeted on a birth date range basis. Now, for steps number 3 and steps number 4, you'll see a lot of more detailed criteria. Now, we don't have data on every one of these people. We don't have full records for every one. Like for birth dates, it's 30 to 40% of the database. When you start to get into income, net worth, and some of these other criteria, it may only be 20% or 30%. And the reason that is that the 29 million consumers that are in this particular database, all of these people have signed up on a website somewhere, and they were asked by what could have been hundreds of different websites for their information. And then when they added that information in and they agreed to the terms of service, what they were agreeing to, and we've all done this, they've agreed to let people share their information, let that website share their information, and then all that information ends up in a big database, and our databases all around the country and all around the world. So that's, if you're ever getting a lot of emails that you didn't ask for, or they're prospect type emails, then that's how that happened. And so this information is all collected from those websites and from a consolidator of all of that data. That's where we get it from. And not every one of those websites asks them for their birth date or asks them about their income or their ethnic background. So that's why all these records are not complete records. So pick and choose whatever's most important to you for your campaign and for the list that you're building from the criteria. You could even exclude certain domains or include certain domains that you only want to target. when you go through, and then you can hit search. You can look at all the available emails that match your criteria. We also have previously verified emails delivered, opens, and clicks. So what we actually do is anyone who's using the database, we always collect any emails that were delivered previously, opened by a recipient, or clicked on by a recipient. So you can use that as an additional way to filter down what could be a really big list into a much smaller list. But keep in mind, this is a new program, so we don't have a lot of people using the program or using different parts of the database. So right now, there's not going to be a lot of verified emails in there to work with, or a lot of opens and clicks. But over time, that number, as you use the program and everyone else with Agency Automator uses it, it's going to become a much bigger number. So the rest of this is build your list. You can go into the business database. It works in a very similar way. You're going to select the state. You can drill down right down to zip code or zip code radius. You can also then, for businesses, you've got revenue, employees, SIC and NAICS codes. If you're not familiar with those, there's a little question mark that you can click on. Basically what this is the U.S. government keeps track of data based upon industries, and they called it SIC, and NAICS is a newer version of that U.S. Bureau of Labor coding system, industry coding system. So if you're looking for very specific prospects to market to that are in very specific industries like banking or pharmaceutical or automotive, then all you got to do is look at these little drop downs, or these, not drop downs, but these export files, I mean, for SIC and NAICS. Find the industry, find the code, click on the code, load all your codes in here, and then find the codes for all the prospects that you want. The majority of, if not all of these business prospects should have either an SIC or an NAICS code or both. And then you could just pick and choose who you're looking for. You could also select by company, so just select Alpha if you're looking for a very specific company that starts, with a certain letter. Same thing on titles. If I want all the CEOs, or anyone that starts with C in their title, I could click on it. You can also use this little find box right here. So if you got a lot of data showing up in the available search criteria, you can just add in like CEO, hit find, and you're going to find it immediately. And then when you're ready, hit search, build, and save your list. And then the rest of this is just filling in the blanks. So once you've created your list, and if it's from our database and you've saved it, or if it's your list, then there'll be a separate little gray bar folder here that you click on that opens up, and it will say your prospect list. If you create a list from our consumer and business database, it's going to show up under the saved consumer and business prospect list. And then here, you're going to see this verified and unverified. So it's explained here, it's explained in the video, but just in a nutshell, first time you send to a list, it's what we call unverified. We don't know how many of those emails are going to get delivered. Because some of those people may have changed jobs, their email account may have been turned off, so we don't know how many are going to get delivered. But after you send to it for the first time, we do know how many were delivered, and we create a completely separate delivered list from that. So once you've built your list, selected it, you move on, build your email. We already covered all of this with the CRM. This is all exactly the same as that. The contact information part is exactly the same as the CRM. This part here, this last part, is different. So before you send out your email, you have the option to actually move the opt-ins, clicks, and opens, or the leads that you're going to get from your campaign, right into the CRM database just by checking these boxes. Otherwise, it's more of a manual process where you have to go into the tracking report, select it, and move it in. But if you want to move it in automatically, then you can do that. And what's the big benefit of moving it into the CRM? No more credits. You don't need sending credits to send emails to your customers, your opt-ins, any clicks or opens from your prospecting campaigns. And think of it this way. It's like a funnel. You're sending out a list to a list of prospects, and then you're harvesting from that list those people that are engaging in your message by opening, clicking, or opting in. So the whole idea here is to build your base, build that CRM base. So you may start off with 100 customers or 200 customers that are opt-ins that you load into the CRM, but over time, over the months, and months that you're sending out prospecting campaigns, you're going to be adding hundreds and hundreds of opens, clicks, and opt-ins into your CRM. That becomes your A-list that you're going to be marketing to. And also, if you want a little heads-up reminder on any opt-ins or clicks that were created from a campaign, just check the box right next to it. We'll add it as a task. So when we add them into the CRM, we'll create an automatic task, and we'll send you a daily email that says, hey, you got an opt-in or you got a click. This is the guy's name. Check them out, follow up with them, try to turn it into a sale. So it's just an ongoing task reminder, and we'll also add it to the dashboard page so you can see it. So that's it for these two primary components. The rest of it is the unsubscribe manager. This is where all your emails go to die. So when somebody clicks on the link that we provide, whether it be a CRM or a prospecting campaign, they unsubscribe, their email comes in here. You can try to send to them all day long through any of the lists that you have, and we're going to filter them out each time. So they'll never get another email from you once they get added in. Now, if somebody doesn't click on the link, some people have a link phobia. They won't click on a link from somebody that they don't know, or sometimes a virus software will disable the link when it gets into their inbox. Then you can manually add their email address in here, hit proceed, and then that'll manually add them in. Make sure that you're very familiar with the CAN spam rules. When you sign up for the program, you're going to be agreeing to the CAN spam agreement. Down in the footer of your account, it's going to say CAN spam, so in case you need to get familiar with it again, you need to make sure you understand how those rules work and how the law works in order to stay in compliance with this, because when you're sending out an email to someone, that email is coming from you. It's not coming from Agency Automator, it's coming from you. So you have a responsibility to make sure your contact information is correct, make sure that all of your information is not deceptive in any way. So it's really simple to follow the law. You just need to be familiar with it. And then don't forget about those help videos, like I said. Everything that we've talked about here today is covered on the help video.
Okay.
All right.
Kevin, we got about 10 seconds left.
Okay. Sorry I took so long.
No, it's okay. Do you have anything else you want to close with?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and this was developed and designed just to give everyone kind of a sneak peek. We're going to have our weekly live trainings that Kevin will host. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And then, of course, we have a help desk. And, when seeing this, I don't want anyone to get intimidated. Yes, it looks like a lot of moving parts, but it's just like driving a car or bicycle for the first time. Once you get your feet wet, you get your hands around it, this system will run on autopilot, and you'll know this like the back of your hand. So just a couple other things. The single sign-on will be available by next week, so you can just log into our website as usual, click on Agency Automator, and you are in. And then we're going to build these new campaigns that are, let's say, pre-made for the college scholarship program, or maybe retirement and indexed annuities, or whatever the case is. Everything will already be made for you. So we're putting everything together as we speak. We even have a few that we're going to launch with literally as we speak. So just a few other things, and then we'll end the call. I know we're a little bit late. That was all great stuff. Kevin did a great job, so I want to thank him for that. But you're probably thinking, this sounds great. It must be so expensive. The bottom line is, as long as you're active with us, okay, then you take advantage of the co-op pricing, which is literally 50% off, starting at just $25 a month for 1,000 prospects every month. Now, if you're active with us and you're writing at least one application a month, okay, if you look at the second line, so if you're writing at least one application a month at a minimum premium of just $83 a month, so that's one app, $83 a month, then you get the system for free. We pay for the activation in all cases, but the bottom line is, if you're new with us, worst case scenario, $25 a month, free activation. Once you start writing at least one app per month, we pay for the whole program. It doesn't cost you a penny. Okay, and even if you want to add more prospects, even up to 15,000 prospects a month, you still take advantage of that 50% off pricing. All right, Joe's going to just tell you how to get started, and then we'll fast forward to the last slide, and we'll end the call. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So obviously the first thing is making sure you're contracted with us with at least one carrier. If not, go right to carrierlevinson.com. Again, everybody will get an activation email. When you get that email, there'll be a link to actually register. So you're going to create your own username and password, enter in all your information. Very important to put in all of your details, address, phone number, website, and then again, sign up for the weekly onboard training webinar. Those are very important. Those are actually required to actually start using the program. We do have a section on carrierlevinson.com. Once you're up and running, you can access the Agency Automator. Right underneath the Agent Tools tab, you'll see Agency Automator Access. You'll actually be able to log in right from that section of the website and start using the program. But again, emails will go out this afternoon with detailed instructions so we can go ahead and get started. And of course, we will be sending an email on the annual Agent Expo for 2017. It's March 31st, so we'll be sending details on that. Great way to actually come and visit us here in South Florida. Also, we will be sending out an email on the training events for upcoming next week as well.
Okay, and our last slide here, we had a few other things to talk about, but we're running a little behind. I apologize. But again, we're going to have these live trainings once a week. And then, of course, me, Joe, and Kevin will do monthly webinars in the beginning just so everybody is comfortable. I don't care if you're 17 or 79 years old. Our goal is to make sure you're comfortable with Agency Automator because it's going to change your sales life, okay? It is so important. It's the same thing as what Uber did to Yellow Cab or what happened to Blockbuster Video and Kmart. And we want to put our front foot forward, learn the technology, and we're here to hold your hand, and it's free as long as you're active, so there's no excuse. We want everybody to succeed because guess what? That means we succeed as a team, as a family. So we're going to end with this, okay? And as you know, I love all the motivational sayings, and you know, it's your job to stay in the zone, stay focused, have that positive energy day in and day out because your clients or agents can feel that. It translates, I promise you. So we'll end with this. Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Others make it happen. I love this. So let's all go out there, make it happen. Have a great rest of the week, a great weekend, and good selling. Take care.